Hey Bob, it's another exciting day in paradise, and boy, oh boy, is it a great day to be alive, especially when you consider the alternative. That being said, I hope you're all having another fantastic week, because it's Monday. That's right, it's Monday Fun Day, in my opinion. Just another exciting week to get started on pursuing your goals for the future. One thing I wanted to talk about today, basically, because I've noticed it a couple times in my stream that I'll have somebody come to the stream and they'll be chatting, be friendly at one point, and then the next time they chat with me, they're suddenly depressed, feeling down. And I basically want to talk about depression a little bit. I myself have dealt with it a little bit in my past. While I was in Iraq, my first deployment was probably the lowest point of my life. I was told by an NCO by the name of Staff Sergeant Bailey. I'll never forget that name. But we were one of the first units to get extended in Iraq. We were actually on the buses to go to the planes to actually leave to go back to Alaska, where I was stationed at, 172nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team. And we were told to get off the bus, and then they told us, hey, you're getting extended. You're going to go to Baghdad. I'm like, oh, great. That caused a lot of people to be depressed. It brought a lot of people down. But it affected me the most because I was 19 at the time, and I was switched around a lot between platoons. I was the most switched around soldier, actually, because I would always find something would happen in each platoon where I wouldn't blend well with somebody, and they would switch me to somebody else. I made my fair amount of mistakes. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I was switched around a lot. I was actually in every platoon that deployment. I started off in blue platoon, 3rd platoon. Then I moved to white platoon, which is 2nd platoon. Then I went to headquarters platoon near the end before we got extended. Then I was moved to red platoon, 1st platoon, for the last portion of that deployment. And under Staff Sergeant Bailey, I probably dealt with the hardest portion of depression in my life. I like to tell these stories, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, because I like to level with you and let you know that you're not alone and you're dealing with depression and other situations. That's why you'll hear me rant and talk about my personal experiences, because I'm not afraid to tell you embarrassing stuff, depressing stuff, because it helped me to become where I am today. It helped me to be a stronger person, because I honestly believe wholeheartedly that no matter how hard or bad a circumstance is in your life, it happened for a reason. It happened for a reason, to change your direction in life, to change your perspective or whatnot, but mainly to strengthen you. There's a reason why in basic training they drill the living crap out of you. They demoralize you. They have you do push-ups, all sorts of horrible stuff. And at the time, you're like, God, I hate this place. I hate this. I hate my drill sergeant. I just hate it. But afterwards, you realize that was meant to strengthen you. It was meant to toughen you up for being in an area and combat zone and war and stuff like that, so that areas that most people wouldn't be able to handle. So, but anyways, back to my story. So I'm in Iraq under the staff sergeant, and I make my fair amount. Again, I make mistakes, but this staff sergeant almost every day would demoralize me. There was at one point I remember that distinctly stands out to me. We had a mission, a long mission. I got done with the mission. It was exhausted. Everybody was exhausted. I was a dismount a lot of times. So I end up going to a porta-john to use the bathroom, and I come out, and he looks at me and says, what the heck is wrong with you? And I said, what? He said, you were just picking your nose. And I was picking my nose. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, Sergeant. What did I do wrong? He said, didn't you just come from the porta-john? I said, well, yeah, Sergeant. Yeah. He's like, why didn't you wash your hands? He's like, there's nowhere to wash your hands. He's, why didn't you use hand sanitizer? I didn't think about it, Sergeant. I was just picking my nose. He's like, get the hell down and start doing push-ups. Now, mind you, this is what I remember, so there might be little tidbits that I'm leaving out, but I remember distinctly him telling me to get down and start doing push-ups, and I'm doing push-ups feeling like, what the hell am I doing push-ups for? And while I'm doing these push-ups in the dirt, he proceeds to tell me how he's going to start calling me goldfish because I have the brain power of a goldfish. And I felt really like utter crap at that point. Like, wow, like we got extended. I'm in Iraq. I don't get to see my family. I'm 19. I'm over here overseas, and you're going to call me a goldfish now? It's like, not only am I going out and risking my life, getting possibly shot at and so forth, now you're going to call me a goldfish? Thank you. I appreciate that. I remember one point I was outside my tent, And I think it was after a circumstance where I had left my weapon at the tent, and I had gotten smoked and in trouble for that at one point because I made mistakes. Again, I made a lot of mistakes, but the demoralization just packed on. And after a circumstance of that and being called goldfish again a lot, I was outside my tent crying. Men cry, so if that surprises you, well, you're not living in the real world. I was crying because I didn't know what to do. I felt hopeless. I felt lost, and I'll never forget Sergeant Russell. He was our gunner. He was one of the main reasons that helped me get through that deployment. He sat beside me. He said, "What are you crying for?" I said, "I don't know what I can do. I don't know what to do to make Staff Sergeant Bailey happy. No matter what I do, I'm always going to fail in his eyes, and he's going to call me a goldfish, and I feel hopeless." And I remember him telling me, he's like, relax. You go ahead and cry, get it out. We're nearing the end of our deployment. When do you honestly think you're ever going to see him again? Look forward to your family. Look forward to your friends. Everybody you're going home to. You're so close. We're almost done. Don't worry about him. He's going to be a figment of your imagination. He's going to be in the past. Don't worry about it. Focus on the positive thoughts of you going back to your family and friends. And that helped me through that circumstance. It honestly did. Funny part about that is I think I might have talked about this before. Again, these are ramblings because I'm just thinking about a topic. I'm just going over it. So if I said this before, sue me. But 10 years later, no lie, 10 years later, while I was a sergeant at this point, and we were training over in Arizona, training for another deployment, doing desert training and whatnot. It's been a while since I was in the military, so I'm starting to forget. But we were doing some sort of training in the deserts, and our platoon was getting briefed by the instructors. The instructors being staff sergeants, sergeant first classes, and so forth. They were going to basically grade us for how we performed during this training practice. And I'll never forget. They say, "Here's your instructors." I'm a sergeant at that time when my soldiers were around me, and they said some sergeant's name. Then they said Staff Sergeant Bailey, and the name just clicks in my head. And I look over, I look right at him, and it's Staff Sergeant Bailey, same staff sergeant 10 years ago, and he's looking right back at me with this look like he's seen a ghost. And he looks away as quickly as he can. He looks away, he goes back to briefing people. I never talked to him the entirety of that training period, but his looking at me, that look that he gave me, was satisfying enough, because he knew that worthless goldfish that he had called a goldfish so many times and it demoralized that entire deployment was now a sergeant standing in front of him. Not worthless. A prospect for the military. And he had to eat his own words there. That I didn't have to even confront him because that was satisfying enough to me. Goldfish. What are you dealing with in your life? What is bringing you down, making you depressed? When you think about whatever it is that's causing your depression, think about all the other people who are dealing with a lot worse circumstances. There's a lot of people out there dealing with worse circumstances, and they're getting through it. Homelessness and so forth. I'm not saying your circumstance isn't bad, isn't horrible, isn't worth being depressed about. I am telling you that it happens for a reason, to strengthen you. And though it might be hard for you to deal with it and get over it, it's going to be worth it in the long run. You can do it if you put your mind to it, because you are unstoppable. Nobody can stop you but yourself. Don't let yourself stop you, and don't let depression get you, because depression is just weakness in thought. You're getting rid of that weakness the moment you bypass that depression. There's a lot of things to look forward to in life. You got a lot of life to live. And like I said before in the beginning, it's a great day to be alive, especially when you consider the alternative. Would you rather be a famous, rich, dead person, or would you rather be living right now? Think about that. What use is being rich and famous if you're dead? What use is that? It's nothing. It's worthless. Like dust in the wind. You're alive right now. So you're already better off than everybody who's dead. You got a lot of life to live. So don't ever let depression bring you down. Don't ever let it hold you back from succeeding, because it's only meant to strengthen you and make you a better person. And look at it from that perspective. That being said, I better get back to work. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the stream tomorrow morning after the gym. So, y'all stay classy. Back to you in the studio, Bob.